What's going on, family? Listen, I wanted to talk to y'all today about curiosity over comfort. Curiosity over comfort. Now, why do I want to talk about this? I had talked to you guys before about survival logic and about expansion logic and how to shift from one to the next so that you guys can begin to open yourself up to new possibilities in life, right? Now, this is going to be all about taking someone who is in survival or taking someone or even just yourself who's been living in survival, someone who's living in comfort, and really beginning to open them up to the life that God really has for them. A lot of you are stuck in survival. You're stuck in your own ways. You're stuck in your comfort because you're afraid to expand. You feel like if you expand, it's going to expose you to danger or threat. You're afraid of what people think. You're afraid it's not going to work. And you're comfortable just kind of maintaining where you're at right now. And a lot of you deep down inside, you want more, you desire more for your life, but you convince yourself that you're just cool where you're at. You're living in comfort, you're living kind of in maintenance mode, and life might be okay the way that it is right now. You might be getting by, but there's more that God has for your life. And you're afraid to step out into that. You're afraid that if you expose yourself to the world, if you try new things, that you're going to end up failing. That if you try things God's way, and you disrupt your everyday routine and how you've been living, that you're going to lose everything. But really all you're going to lose is limitation. And I wanted to remind y'all that. I wanted to kind of confirm that with y'all. You think that, well, if I put myself out there in front of the world, what are people going to think? I'm afraid that I'm going to look dumb, that I'm going to fail. So you're in all of these comfort of these safety-based decisions. And I want you to understand that comfort is always going to keep your world small. Curiosity makes your world do what? It makes it expand. So having the level of curiosity, right? Having curiosity, what it does is it awakens you in a way to kind of wonder and be curious and think and imagine, what if? What if life could be different? What if I did things a different way? This is the biggest opportunity you've ever had in your life. Comfort is always going to protect what is. Curiosity is going to explore what could be. Somebody say, God, give me the ability, the openness, the curiosity to imagine what could be. Comfort repeats the familiar. Curiosity opens the door to the unusual, the unexpected, and the supernatural, y'all. Comfort is always going to be a kind of settler or survival consciousness. Curiosity is seeker's consciousness. It's the realm where awakening begins, y'all. Curiosity opens creativity. I want to even get into the neurological and the spiritual aspect of this. And it's very profound. So I want y'all to pay attention. Number one, curiosity activates the brain's exploration circuits. Ain't that crazy? So when you become curious about something, the brain releases dopamine, not for comfort, but for discovery. So really your main thing in the first key is going to be, God, give me the ability to be curious. Give me the ability to imagine. Help me to be disciplined even in the art of spiritual stillness, meaning take time out of your day, take time out of your habits, your busyness, and your every routine to just sit and allow God to speak to you and to open your mind. Right? When you become curious, again, the brain releases dopamine, not for comfort, but for discovery. So this shifts your internal state, right? How does this shift your internal state? Your internal state, it begins to shift from protection to expansion, survival to expansion, routine to exploration, trying new things, y'all. It shifts from sameness to possibility. So curiosity, it literally turns on creativity in the brain because the brain begins searching for patterns. It begins searching for new connections and new solutions. This is very profound, y'all. It's a spiritual, but I'm trying to explain to you how it manifests neurologically because once you have this understanding, it'll kind of help you partner with the Holy Spirit or partner with God and kind of ask him to navigate you through this concept. And it's going to help you unlock your potential, y'all. Number two, curiosity breaks the comfort loop. It breaks the settler's loop, meaning settling for less. So settler dopamine, it rewards predictability. It rewards the routine, the sameness. It rewards the safety that you feel like you're getting in your life from maybe moments in your life where you felt like you were out of control or you felt like you didn't know what was going to happen to you. Curiosity, what it does is it disrupts the loop and it begins to rewire the nucleus accumbens to reward. Novelty, imagination, exploration, risk, creativity. So the nucleus accumbens part of the brain. What is this? Because I know that there's all these different types of, or all these different parts of the brain in the different parts of your neurochemistry that people are like, huh, I don't even know what he's talking about. This is something that y'all can study on your own, but I'm going to kind of give you a definition and explain to you guys briefly what this is so you can understand the concepts that I'm teaching y'all here. So the nucleus accumbens, y'all, it's the part of the brain that's responsible for motivation, reward, drive, pleasure, reinforcement, habit formation. So dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter. It releases into your brain that kind of pushes you, drives you, or motivates you toward a certain thing. But the nucleus accumbens, y'all, it's part of the basal ganglia, and it acts as a central hub that integrates emotional, it integrates cognitive, motivational signals to a person that shapes their behavior. All right. This is the neurological doorway out of stagnation. Curiosity is what activates this. It rewires the nucleus accumbens to shape your behavior around the right things and the right types of rewards. Number three, curiosity, it expands your perceptual field. Now, comfort and survival, what it does is it shrinks your mental and emotional bandwidth. So you have this tunnel vision and you're only focused on surviving, protect, be safe, secure, be comfortable. But when you have curiosity, it kind of breaks and disrupts all that. And this is what expands your ability to kind of perceive and begin to see what God is doing. Curiosity is going to widen your perceptual field, y'all. So when curiosity raises, or when it rises, what the brain is doing is it's increasing pattern recognition. Come on here. Once you're able to recognize certain patterns in your functioning, the Spirit of God will then come in to begin to help you decode everything, give you wisdom to begin to reroute those patterns, which now begins to open up entirely new pathways for you that you've overlooked before. This is what's so supernatural and profound about this, because many of those patterns were blind spots that you couldn't see. And that's why you were always wondering, why does my life never change? Why is nothing shifting? Why do I feel stuck? You have to identify the pattern and the root cause behind the pattern of why you are stuck in the first place. And God will teach you how to rewire the patterns in your life. It increases curiosity, increases divergent thinking, intuitive insight. It increases creative problem solving, y'all. Openness to unusual possibilities. This is where you start to actually see the miracles and actually see the change come into your life. This is why curious people, they see opportunities that other people tend to miss. Number four, curiosity is the spiritual posture of awakening. It also activates the prophetic as well. Awakening is not emotional, but it's perceptual. It's the moment that your spirit starts to become aware of higher possibilities, divine timing, supernatural innovation and alignment, heaven's invitations. It starts to help you to perceive and see the cues and the signals of destiny. Come on, somebody. So curiosity, it's the spiritual skill that opens the door to awakening, because it shifts you from, you stop asking what's safe for me and you start asking what else is actually possible for my life. What else can actually be possible for my life? So that question is literally the ignition point to spiritual acceleration. The next thing, y'all, is curiosity. It creates unusual possibilities. This is where the miracles are coming in, y'all. Unusual possibilities, they don't ever appear in comfort. You're never going to do anything significant. You're never going to accomplish anything that's globally impactful. You're never going to accomplish anything that's life-changing in comfort. It just doesn't happen that way. These big life-changing things only come with curiosity and people who follow the curiosity that turns into risk-taking. I don't mean destructive risk taking. I don't mean anything like that. I mean prophetic risk. I mean calculated risk, identity-based risk. Curiosity, because curiosity breaks old identity patterns. It opens new neural pathways. It increases spiritual sensitivity. It expands imagination. It activates creativity. It invites divine synchronicities, y'all. It collapses, watch this one. It collapses limiting timelines. Remember, I was talking to you guys about in a video before about how when you really begin to embody your true divine nature, when you begin to embody the original design of who God made you to be, you begin to operate at a different level, in a different frequency. So now all of the opportunities and the things that God had for you that you felt like was taking, no matter how hard you worked, right? You could be like, I'm working for years and years and years. People are working 10, 15, 20 years and nothing changes because they're working at something that has nothing to do with their God-ordained purpose. So when you begin to walk in and live by purpose, y'all, when you begin to live by the standards of who you are, mm, timelines literally begin to collapse. And you'll begin to actually feel like you're shifting into a whole different reality. And now, boom, time begins to speed up for you, right? It's like when you are waiting and waiting and waiting for 10, 20 years, all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, what God has for you is released. Doors start to open for you. And it's a very supernatural thing. So, comfort and safety based living, what it does is it keeps you in chronos time, which is the chronological, the linear days, months, years, hours, minutes. And curiosity, y'all, when you begin to follow that, it pulls you into kairos, which is God's divine timing. It's when heaven begins to move for you. Heaven begins to shift things that physical strength and physical, natural, worldly wisdom cannot move for you. So listen, y'all, a couple things that I want you to identify, all right? And then I'm going to make a part two to this that's going to teach you about the realm of awakening, okay? The realm of possibility. Now, first thing, identify your comfort cage. Identify your comfort cage. What routines, what habits, what environments feel safe to you, but also feel stagnant, like repeating the same things throughout your week, avoiding new opportunities, staying in familiar relationships, not challenging yourself. Identify these things. And then I want you to also identify, what is that comfort costing you? Is it costing you expansion? Is it costing you new money, new creativity? Is it costing you new opportunities? And then the third thing, what are you curious about right now? And then I want y'all to begin to list things, like list 3 things that you want to explore, 3 things that you want to learn, and 3 environments that you want to enter. Once you begin to write these things down and you actually do the work on this, it's going to activate a different part of your brain, and it's also going to open you up to allow the Spirit of God to come in and begin to change what you think, what you feel, what you believe, which is going to shift your behavior. Right? Because once you can change how you think, y'all, your body is going to follow that. And this is when you're going to start to see yourself take certain steps of faith that you were scared to before. And you're going to watch heaven begin to move on your behalf in ways that you've never seen before. Wondering, back then, well, why do I feel like God hasn't moved? Why do I feel like God has never done miracles? Why do I feel like certain doors have not opened for me? Because you haven't taken that step yet. You haven't taken the step of curiosity that also follows or results into you taking risks that could change your entire life. I love y'all. God bless. Come on, let's get